3 more rounds, and this is really the anchor for your mind, you guys. So as your mind starts to shift into thinking mode, you want to use the breath to anchor the mind. Just come back to the breath pattern. And what we're really doing here in your practice is getting away from the rat race, you know, the rushing around, the to-do list. Everything is so sped up. So this is an opportunity for you to just really slow down, nourish, rejuvenate. Let's take one more breath here, just like that. And then let's go ahead and bend up that right knee. Interlace your fingers right below the right knee and just squeeze down into that right hip for a moment. Creating a little bit of compression in that right hip. You might feel a little soreness there. And then we're going to start to circle in that right hip. So just take nice, gentle, easy circles. Nothing too fast or abrupt. You know, I was thinking about this title of a gentle class, and sometimes that can be a little bit misleading because it takes a tremendous amount of strength to be gentle, to have this deep awareness and to slow down. It's really easy to push and to go fast, right? We're used to that. And then let's go the other direction, circle in that hip the other way about 4 or 5 times. Just creating some nice lubrication in the hip joint, our largest joint in the body. And then let's squeeze down into that hip one last time. And now we'll start to circle just in the ankle. So take some big circles in the right ankle. And oftentimes if we're going to get arthritis, or you might be experiencing some of that right now in your life, it's going to show up in your joints of the feet, the toes, the hands, the fingers. And this really helps to prevent and even heal some of that malaise that goes on in our joints. Let's go the other direction, circle the other way. You might even get a crack, you might get a noise. That's good, it's moving air out of the joints. And then relax the ankle, and we'll take the strap, or whatever you're using as a strap, and loop it around the right instep of your right foot. And try not to get caught up in how high or how low your leg is. You just want to feel a nice stretch in the back of the hamstring, the calf muscle. Please make sure that the shoulders are relaxed and your chin is neutral, so your back of the neck is nice and long. And just breathe into that nice sensation that you're feeling in the back of that leg. And for some of us, I laugh because it may not be so nice. It might be a little intense. So if that's the case, then you can, back off a little bit. Meet your body where it is today. Let's take one last breath here. You might want to exhale through the mouth, maybe sigh, make a little noise. That's the body's way of releasing stress and tension as well. And now take the strap into the right hand and reach that left arm out like an airplane wing, so it creates like an anchor for you. And take your right leg all the way out to the right. And remember to flex your left foot so that you stay anchored in the left side, so that you don't drop all the way to the right. Nice little engagement of the legs. And stay with that nice rhythmic, steady breath. bring that leg right back up through the center, and then take your strap now in the left hand and reach that right arm out to the side and start to cross the body with that right leg. And go slow. This is a pretty tight area for most of us. That outer hip, a lot of dense, tight muscles there. They're the largest muscle group, so we do hold a lot of stress there, a lot of tension. Good, I think someone was telling me their hip was talking to them today. Actually, it might be a couple of you in class. So just take it, real gentle. This is a nice gentle class, so I'm not gonna move too fast. I'm gonna give you plenty of time to explore and to really, jump into what's going on in your own body. Make adjustments as needed. And then on your next inhale, bring that leg right back up through the center. Release the strap, lower the right leg down, all the way down to meet the left one. And I just want you to feel the difference between your right and left side right now. That would be circulation. Then let's bend up that left knee, interlace the fingers right below the left knee, and squeeze into the left hip. Relax the shoulders and the neck. And then start to circle now in that left hip. Nice big or small circles, depends on how you're feeling. But keep that breath nice and deep and rich, smooth, balanced. Notice the difference of this side. It might feel a little more sensitive. You might have a different sensation in a different area. So all this is just awareness. And then let's reverse the circle. Go about, 4 or 5 times the other way. Squeeze straight down in that left hip and hold that, and circle now the left ankle. So I notice for me, my shoulders tend to want to take over. So try to notice if that's happening and relax them. Circle the ankle this direction, another circle or two, and then reverse it, go the other way. Good, and then relax that, and now we'll take the strap to this left leg and stretch that leg up towards the ceiling or out in front of you, just to the degree that you feel a nice stretch. Nothing too extreme, nothing too forceful. It's definitely a practice to be gentle with ourselves. And if you're used to taking care of everybody else, then it's going to be hard for you to take this time for yourself. But very, very necessary. Oh, Shida. Sorry, you guys. That's real good for the nervous systems, right? She's got a loud bark. Take about 2 more breaths here, just stretching that back of that left hamstring, calf muscle. And then now take that strap in the left hand, reach the right arm out to the side, and take that left leg all the way out to the left until you feel a nice stretch. And then just hold it and breathe. start to listen for the sound of your breath. That will keep you present. And then on your next inhale, come back up through center. Take the strap into the right hand and reach that left arm out long. And start to cross the body. So take your time. This might be your cranky side. Body loves space, so you are looking for more space in your practice. Not only in the body, but also in your mind. Let's take one last breath here. And then use your in-breath to bring your leg right back up through the center. You can release that strap and lower that left leg all the way down next to the right one. Just take a moment there to feel the legs. Just feel the energy in your legs. And now let's draw both knees in. Squeeze them in towards your chest and just circle into the low back. So take nice big circles, massaging the low back. And then go the other direction. Good. And then now let's take some frog circles. So bring in your right hand in front of your right knee, your left hand in front of your left knee. Part the knees out to the side and circle, big circles away from you, back together, and then back in towards your chest. So you create these nice big circles in your hips. Feels really good. And then go the other direction. I love that expression. Motion is lotion, right? So when you move, you create lubrication in your joints. It's very important. And then we'll squeeze the knees in one last time. Take the hands now and slide them to the back of your knees, the back of your thighs. Lift up your chin and your chest, and then start to roll the entire length of your spine. So just take a couple of rock and rolls here, back and forth. And then come up into a seated position, Sukhasana, cross-legged. You can also choose to sit in a chair for this portion of the class if that's easier for you. But I'm going to use my blanket here. This is where you might want to bring in your blanket, you guys, or use a block, something that can elevate your hips. It just makes it so much nicer for the spine. You want your spine lifted. You want the ears to stack over the shoulders and the shoulders right over your hips. And then we're going to just drop into some Sufi circles, which are just circling around in the pelvis. You're drawing your chest back, squeezing into the belly, and then bring your chest forward so you squeeze the shoulder blades together. So you're getting all this tension and stuck energy out of the spine, unwinding the spine. And this is somewhat, diagnostic too. You're kind of seeing what's going on. Let's go the other direction a few times. Big circles. And since so much of us, we hold so much tension in our neck and our shoulders, we'll do a little bit of neck work as well. So I just want to caution you, go easy with the neck. Let's sit nice and tall, lengthen up through the crown of your head, and then just drop your chin down towards your throat so you feel a nice stretch in the back of the neck. And then on your next inhale, lift your face up towards the ceiling and just as far back that's comfortable for you this morning. And then as you exhale, chin down towards the throat, squeeze gently into the throat. And we'll take that just a few more times on your own. So the inhale supports the lift. You're opening up the throat, the chest. You you look up and maybe back, and then the exhale, the chin comes down towards the throat, squeezing gently. Continue that with the breath flow. Nice and slow. And then last round here. Coming back up through neutral. And then to extend your right arm out to the side, reach up and out of that left waist and stretch over the ear. And then I want you to shift your left lung down and continue to stretch through those left fingertips. So you're shifting your chest to face down towards the floor. You're gonna feel a really nice stretch on that left side body there, into the ribs even. And then we'll stack the shoulders again. You're gonna open up the chest and look up underneath the armpit. And then as you exhale, shift down, reach through the fingertips, and shift your chest down towards the floor. Good, continue that 2 more times. Inhale, open up into that side bend. Exhale, shift down, look down, reach long through that arm. One last time, keeping your left hip anchored. Exhale, shifting down. Very good. Then inhale, come on up, back up through center. Reach the arms up towards the ceiling, and then keep the spine long. Take a twist to your left. Hook your left hand on the outside of the right hand on the outside of your left knee. Take your left hand close to your spine so you stay nice and lifted. And then just twist that torso around to your own degree. Remember, you're being very gentle here. It's so easy to force. It's so easy to be pushy. Remember, being gentle takes a tremendous amount of strength and sensitivity. One more breath here. Inhale as you lengthen up a little bit more. Twist a little bit more on your exhale. And then we'll wrap back around towards the center. Reach up through the arms. Inhale long. Nice big long stretch here. And then take a side bend to your left. So your left hand's going to go out to the side. Reach up and out of that right waist. Keep your right hip anchored, and then shift that right lung down. Stretch through the fingertips, keeping that right hip heavy. Inhale, back into the side bend, open up the shoulders, the chest, look up. Exhale, shifting down. So you can feel, you're getting into the ribs, the intercostal muscles. They get pretty sticky. And this will really allow you to open up your breathing. So go on your own a couple more times. The more we can breathe deeply and fully, the more we balance our nervous systems. Shifting into that rest and digest and not in the stress response chronically. Last time. We don't want to live there. Inhale, come on up, reach tall, and then we'll take a twist to your right. So take your left hand and hook it on the outside of that right leg somewhere. Slide that, your right hand close to your spine, and twist to your own degree. I think a chronic problem is that we are living in that stress response, and it's not designed for us to live there. It's there for our survival and protection. It definitely serves a purpose, but we live there a little too much. So that affects our digestion, our sleep, we get anxiety, and all kinds of issues. Okay, and let's come back through center on the inhale, reach up towards the ceiling. And then take the arms down and bring the hands right into the heart center. Take a nice big deep inhale and exhale through your mouth and relax your shoulders. Good. Now we're going to shift into tabletop position, hands and knees. And this is where you might want to slide a blanket underneath your knees if you need a little extra cushion. But let's come into tabletop where the knees are right underneath your sit bones and the hands are right underneath your shoulders. And then inhale, lift up across the chest. You're going to open up your clavicles here, lift your seat, you're arching your spine. And then as you exhale, push the ground away from you. Navel hugs back towards the back of the body. Your neck is long. You're moving the shoulder blades away from each other. And then go ahead and take that for about a minute. We're going to be here doing cat-cow. So I'd like you to inhale as you lift the chest and exhale as you round the spine. And it would be nice if you could shut down your eyes and just feel where you're having some issues or some blocks. The yogis believe that a flexible spine leads to a flexible mind. And that makes sense because the spine plugs right into the back of the brain. And if we have a flexible mind, then we have the ability to see many different perspectives. Let's do this about 2 more times. To offer a wide-legged down dog, which is so nice, especially if you're feeling particularly tight. So take your hands and walk them a little bit further away from you. Curl your toes under, lift your hips up all the way to the ceiling, and take your feet out to the width of your mat. Maybe even a little bit wider off of your mat if you want to go wider. But this is really nice, really gentle. You can bend the knees as needed, but I find that when I take my feet out a little wider, I can actually straighten my legs a little more easily. So just make sure the spine is long. That's really your priority. Bend your knees as needed. And just enjoy relaxing your head, your neck, your face. Sweet, sweet shoulder stretch you're getting here. Take one more full breath, maybe softening the exhale through the mouth. Nice, and then let's walk the feet back in about hip distance. Take those knees back down underneath your sit bones. And then let's turn the fingers to face out towards the side. So your hands, the heels of your hands will be towards the edges of your mat. The fingers will face out towards the side, and then just start to shift the weight to the right, and then over to the left, and just go side to side a few times. And we're starting to open up the wrist, the elbows, the shoulders. And it actually feels really good to spend this time on the specifics, these little subtleties. And then now let's turn the hands to face all the way back. So just continue that circle to the outside and face the fingers towards the knees. You may have to walk your knees in a little bit to make that a little more accessible. And then walk the knees back a little bit until you feel the stretch. You'll feel this in your forearms, your wrist, really wherever you need it, you're gonna feel it. And now start to move forward and back. So just shift your weight forward and a little bit back. Take that rocking motion a couple more times. Taking care of all of our joints, our organ systems. Yoga really is such a deep, deep healing practice. Good. And then let's turn the hands back around. child's pose. So bring the big toes to touch. Open up the knees a little wider so you have space for your ribs, your belly to rest right between your thighs. Bring your hips towards your heels and then walk your hands further forward and rest your forehead down on your mat. And we're just going to take about 5 deep breaths here. My experience in my yoga practice has been when I notice my success level, like how successful I am in my practice, really depends on how I can surrender, how much I can let go. It's not easy, but if you can really allow yourself to surrender and get out of the way of the yoga, you'll allow it to do its magic. Now from this position, you're going to walk your hands all the way to the right and then reach really long through that left arm. So this is a little more side stretching, a little more intercostal, diaphragm, side body. And in Chinese medicine, there's meridians all over the body, as well as Ayurvedic medicine. And this particular side body is related to the liver and the gallbladder meridian. So it really helps our detoxification. It helps our organs to function optimally. And then we'll walk back through the center and then take it on over to the other side and reaching really long through the right arm as you sink that right hip back and down. You may notice a big difference from this side to the other. Very nice, and then we'll come back through the center and then make your way back up into tabletop, hands and knees. And then going to step your right foot forward, right in between your hands for a low lunge. And I know some of you don't have blocks, but you can just pop up onto your fingertips. If you have blocks, you can slide them underneath your hands. And just lift up into the chest here. You want to get a nice long spine. Allow your left hip to sink and melt forward and down. Breathe into that for 3 full breaths. Listening for that oceanic sound of the breath. That is the anchor. And then we're going to shift back into hamstring, Ardha Hanumanasana. So just flex your toes towards your nose. Shift back. You're going to hover over your left heel. And then just lift up into the chest here. You want to get a nice long spine. Good. Now come all the way back through that low lunge. And then you're going to shift all the way back into that hamstring stretch, flexing the toes. So take that movement a couple of times on your own and allow your breath to guide the movement. So inhale forward and exhale back. Last one here. And then we'll take that tabletop position again, hands and knees, and this time lower all the way down to your belly. And then slide the arms forward and come into Sphinx pose. So the elbows will land right underneath your shoulders. Spread the fingers, spread your toes, and then notice if you're sinking. Don't dump into those shoulders. You're going to lift up out of the shoulders, press your heart forward, and think of the ribs lifting away from the floor. You're really going to feel that in that low back region, maybe the kidney band. And I always have to do these shoulder openers in my practice. I just get so much out of it. So we're gonna do that next because I know a lot of you love it too, and it's actually quite therapeutic. And then let's come all the way down to the belly, and I'm gonna have you stretch your right arm out on the floor in line with your shoulder. So reach it long like an airplane wing, palm facing down. Walk the right hand out, all the way out, and then you're gonna shift to stack your shoulders and stack your hips. So you're getting this really nice opening in the front of that right chest and shoulder. Let the head rest if you can. You just don't want to add any extra tension in the neck there. Some of you might want to take that left leg up and reach it all the way over to the right so you get more into a twist. And you can take the big toe down, or you can take the entire foot down, knee facing up, or just keep your legs stacked, whatever feels right for you. And use these quiet moments here when I'm not talking to really drop into what you're feeling and the flow of the breath, more meditative. Good, and then we'll come on to the belly and we'll take the other side. So take your time, it's a pretty strong stretch. And then we'll stretch that left arm out long, palm facing down, walk it away, walk it away. That will help you open up the front of the chest and shoulder. And then stack your hips, stack your shoulder. Maybe take that right foot all the way over, and maybe not. Maybe you just stack your hips and your legs. But please rest your head down somewhere. Maybe you slide a blanket underneath it if that's helpful. You don't want to add more tension. What a nice antidote this is, for all the sitting and the computer. So good. So important to give our body that balance. Very nice. And then let's very gently, you're gonna roll back onto your belly. And then we're gonna wake up our spine, our back muscles a little bit here, which is also very good for our posture. Shalabhasana. Shalabhasana is the arms are back alongside the body, palm face up towards the ceiling. Your neck is long. You're gonna lead with the heart area. So don't worry about throwing the head back and looking up. I'd rather you keep your eye gaze a little more neutral. And then as you inhale, you'll lift the arms, lift the chest, lift the legs to your own degree. And just hold here. Just hold here. Getting some nice heat in the back of your body. Strengthening the spine. See if you can maybe lift up a little bit more. And then as you exhale, lower down. And we're going to do that 3 more times. Inhale, lift up and lead with the chest, not the eyes. And exhale, lower, nice and slow. 2 more times, we're building strength in the spine. And exhale, lower. Maybe your thighs can lift up a little bit more on this last one. Maybe 1 more vertebra lifts up, go up. And then release, good. Slide the hands underneath your shoulders. Push back into a brief child's pose just to release that low back. And then when you're ready, you're gonna come back up to table and step your left foot forward. And so we're gonna do that on the other side. Allow your right hip to melt forward, lift up across the chest. So if you guys wanna take a look at me for a moment, this is what we're trying to get away from, is this rounding. So make the spine be the priority. Get your spine nice and long. Use blocks or whatever you need to help you do that. And then allow the stretch just to happen. Let the body respond. But priority is long spine. Everything else will follow over time. And take 2 more breaths here. Noticing the difference from one side to the next. Good, and then come back into that Ardha Hanumanasana, the hamstring stretch. Flex your toes. You can bring your blocks with you if you're using them, or just stay up on your fingertips. What else could you use for blocks if you don't have them? You could have, if you have books. Does anybody have books anymore? I've got a ton of books. But big books, like that would, really give you a nice lift. You want to bring the floor a little closer to you sometimes. So you can get creative. You could use cans of soup. Good, and now we're gonna flow with that. So come forward and down on the inhale, lift up across the chest. And as you exhale, shift back and flex the toes. So as you move nice and gently and slowly with your breath, just keep inviting in that calm, that quiet, that serene quality. Last one here. And the next time your hips are low, back in that low lunge, and have you curl your back toes under, lift up the knee, so lift up the thigh, and then take maybe 3 or 4 steps or just one giant step and come up to the top of your mat into a forward fold. And this is where I definitely want you to bend those knees, especially if you don't have blocks. You can always bend the knees enough to get your hands to the floor, keeping your spine nice and long and supported. And just allow your head to hang. And then on your next inhale, you're gonna lift up across the chest here. So come up onto fingertips or blocks, or maybe you just take the hands to the front of your shins and pull your chest out and away from the legs, away from the hips, keeping your neck long. Stay here another breath to really establish this length. And then on your next exhale, take all that length and fold down and in. And we're gonna do that with the flow 2 more times. Inhale, reach out, reach long. And exhale, fold back in. And one more time, inhale, reaching out. And exhale, folding in. Good, hands on your hips. Press down through those feet. Use your strong legs and come up with a nice flat back. And then relax the arms alongside the body. Good, now on your next inhale, sweep the arms out and up towards the ceiling. Grab a hold of your right wrist. Lengthen up out of the waist and then just drop over to the left. And then on your next inhale, come back up through center and do the same thing on the other side. Lengthen up and then drop over to the side. And then coming back up through center, very nice. Take those hands and just drop them right on your shoulders. So you have your fingers in front, your thumbs behind. Move the elbows wide so you really open across the chest, and we're gonna do some shoulder circles. So inhale together and up, exhale back and down. So big circles. Really taking care of probably one of the most important joints in the body for sure. They're all important, but the shoulders, yeah, they really store a lot of stress, a lot of tension. And it's a very complicated structure. So many muscles make up the shoulder girdle. So there's lots to work through here. Let's do 2 more big circles in this direction. And then I'm going to have you reverse the circle. So bring the elbows now out to the side, up towards the ceiling, forward in front of you, and all the way down and around. And do that a few more times. Good. One more big circle. Notice which shoulder is feeling more. And then release the arms and kind of give your arms a little bit of a shake out here. Let's open up wide on your mat. Take a wide straddle here. Reach the arms out wide. And then I'm going to have you turn your right toes to face out. And then we're going to come into a reverse trikonasana. So your legs are straight. Your left hand's going to land on your left leg. Reach up and out of the right waist. And then just take it into a little side bend, reaching back. It feels really good to open up the psoas, the waist. And then come back up through center, keeping your legs nice and strong. You're going to lengthen now from your waist and reach long through the right fingertips. And then take the right hand lightly on the right leg. Reach the left arm up at 12 o'clock. And then I'm going to have you sweep that left arm over the ear so you're nice and long. And continue to circle that arm in front of your face, right along the body, and right back up. So just do that a few times on your own, big circles. And then notice, are you breathing? Are you in a hurry? Look at this like a little vacation. Time well spent. Okay, and let's release that. You're going to bend your right knee to come out into Warrior Two. So now you're right into Warrior Two. And then we'll take it into Reverse Warrior. So now we'll take it back, reach back, bending that front right knee. Good, and then straighten up the legs, straighten up the body, turn your feet parallel. Interlace the hands behind your back. Roll the shoulders open. And then we're going to dive down right in the middle. Bend the knees, chest drops down, head drops down. Lift the arms up to your own degree. And see if you can make your neck really long on all 4 sides. So you achieve that by lifting the shoulders up away from the ears. Very good. And then use your arms as a lever to pull yourself back up. Bend the knees as needed. Good. And then release the arms out to the side. Sweep the right arm underneath the left arm. Cross at the elbows. And then wrap and twist into eagle. So squeeze those elbows into the chest. Press the elbows away from your body. And you can feel this all across the back of the shoulder blades, the rhomboids. Those hard to reach areas. Very good. And then we're going to open wide into cactus arms, elbows bent. Good. Lift the chest up a little bit. Squeeze the elbows into the ribs a little bit. Very good. And then release the arms. You're going to heel ball the feet in. Heel ball, all the way until they're about hip distance apart. And then shift the weight to your right leg and come into tree pose, Virksasana. Shift the weight to your right leg. Turn your left knee out to the side. Hands to the heart center. And when you're ready, you can play with your balance here. Maybe the foot finds the inside of your calf muscle, ankle area. Or you can reach down and pull it all the way up towards the inner thigh. And if you have a wall and you need a little help, you could use a wall, of course. And if your balance is with you, you can take the arms out to the sky, growing those branches in your tree pose. And if you fall, it's okay, come back. Just keep coming back, don't give up. It's really important to work your balance in your practice. It's the first thing that goes as we age. So you must hold on to it, preserve it. And we do that through the practice. Very good. And then release. And take the hands to the heart. And then let's take again a wide stride. So reach the arms out long. Reach the legs out wide, and now turn your left toes to face out. Okay, and then we're going to take that reverse Trikonasana. So let that right hand land on the back of your leg, reach up and out of the left waist, and stretch over the ear. Your legs are strong and firm. Good, right into Trikonasana, inhale up, and the first thing you do is you want to lengthen from your waist. Reach long, like you're trying to reach for someone in front of you, and then place the hand down wherever it goes. Top arm up and sweep it long across your ear. And then continue to circle in front of your face, along the body, and right back up. And just do that on your own, with a nice, steady, rhythmic cadence. Good, last one. Big circle. And then bend your front knee to come out into Warrior Two. And then we'll go into reverse warrior. Reach back, a little different variation. And then straighten up those legs. Reach the arms long, turn your feet parallel. And then now we'll take the left arm underneath the right. Cross at the elbows. Twist the arms like wet ropes. Maybe you can get the palms together. If not, that's okay. Just bring the back of the hands together. And if you really can't do this, you have tight shoulders, you can just cross at the elbows and reach for opposite shoulder blades, like you're giving yourself a hug. So, you know, you guys, there is always somewhere to go. There's always different modifications. Squeeze into the chest and then press the elbows away from your body so you feel that really nice opening across the back of the shoulders. Nice, slow, steady breath. No hurry, no worry. Nowhere to be. And then we'll open those arms wide into cactus, pop the chest up, squeeze the elbows down into the ribs, a little bit of a back bend there. And then release the arms and heel ball your feet back in so that you are hip distance apart. And then we'll do that balancing series on the other side. Okay, so shift the weight now to your left leg, turn your right toes out, your right knee out. And establish that strength on that left leg. And then find your balance. It's going to be totally different. This side will tell a story that's different than the other side, so don't be surprised if it's easier or harder. And then maybe you can bring the foot up a little higher, but you just don't want the foot on the knee. So take care, commit to either above or below the knee. Tree pose and any balancing pose is really helping our focus and concentration as well. You'll notice that as soon as you think of something else that's maybe not right now in this moment, you'll lose your balance. So you got to stay present. And then maybe reach the arms out. And if this is just super easy for you today, you know, you can always try closing down the eyes for a different experience. You still have about 30 seconds here to practice, so if you have fallen, please come back. Try and try again. Good, and then we will release. Hands to the heart. Take a nice centering breath here. That may have caused you a little bit of stress. And then let's step up to the top of the mat again. Separate your feet hip distance. And we're going to work a little balance with opening our toes at the same time. So as you inhale, you're going to reach the arms forward and rise onto the tippy toes all the way as you reach long. And then controlling it as you lower down. This is a lot harder than it looks. So control the descent. Heels land and arms come alongside the body. Now the tricky part is to try to sync up the breath to the movement. So the inhale is going to take you all the way onto the toes. And the exhale is going to bring you all the way down. And even if you lose your balance, you know, you fall out of it, the breath stays the same. That's the practice. Inhale up. Got a nice crack in my ankle there. And exhale down. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale, rise. And exhale, lower down. Good. Now stay with your heels down and take the arms out in front of you about shoulder height. Okay, then you're going to reach for a chair. You're going to sit the hips way back for chair pose. Keeping the arms forward initially, and then roll those shoulders back and down. Make sure the belly is lifted up. So your lower belly lifts up towards the rib cage so you have nice support for your low back. Sit down a little deeper, wait into your heels, and then you're going to sweep the arms back to the side. So to the right side, sweep them back alongside the body like you're trying to push something that's no longer serving you away from you. Then inhale back up through chair, and then exhale, sweep to the other side, pushing whatever's not serving away. Inhale up, exhale to the other side. Last time, inhale, center. Exhale, sweep to the side. Nice. Then inhale, center, and exhale, sweep the arms alongside the body. Interlace the hands, lift the hips, lift the arms, and breathe. And then allow the hands to come down towards the floor. And let's step back into plank pose, upper push-up position. So this is a challenging pose in itself. Holding your own body weight, hands underneath the shoulders. Your belly is strong. This is working bone density. It's actually really good for bone density, holding your own body weight. but it's also developing a good amount of strength, core strength. Not just the front, but also the back and the side body. Let's take 3 more breaths here. You can always take the knees down if it's too much for you and just rejoin when you're ready. It takes time to build strength. And then let's come down to the knees. Very nice. Lower all the way down to your belly. And then sweep those arms back again, Shalabhasana. Inhale, lift everything up. We've been here before. And then exhale, lower. Slide back to child's pose. Just take about 3 deep breaths here. Notice that created a little bit of heat in the body, right? Things get a little challenging, our heart starts to go a little faster. Okay, let's come back up to tabletop. And then this time we're going to take a low plank. So this one is definitely more challenging. Interlace the hands, so you have like a tripod here. Interlace the hands, press into the pinky edges of your hands, press into the forearms, the elbows, and then step your feet back for low plank. This is really good for the shoulders. It's a little bit more challenging for the core, so take care, take breaks when you need to. Gently squeeze the elbows in towards each other so you feel a nice integration of the shoulders. Nice support. Check in with your neck, your face, make sure they're relaxed. Good. Just 2 more breaths here. Hang in there. Very good. And then we're going to go into Sphinx pose from here so you can uninterlace the hands so the arms are parallel. Let the hips and thighs come down. Uncurl the toes and reach the chest forward. Feels good to be out of that. And then lower all the way down. So I'm going to give you an option here. You can stay with Shalabhasana, which is this one here. Arms back, legs back, lifting everything up. Or you can bend your knees and grab your ankles and come into Dhanurasana, which is bow pose. So if you're taking bow pose, just make sure the knees are not out to the side. You want to bring your knees in line with your hips the best you can, and then use the kick as the engine. Kick up, so the kick is going to open up the chest, the shoulders. It's also massaging your organs. This made the list of the top 5 most important poses to do. Kick up and lift up, and Shalabhasana will definitely suffice if you're not taking the full expression here, don't worry. And lower all the way down. Hands to the underneath your shoulders, take a child's pose. Whew. And that one gives you a nice, relaxed energy. You can feel that. And take 1 more breath there. It's a pretty deep back bend. And then let's come around to a seat. And this is where you may want to slide that blanket back underneath your hips. Stretch your legs out in front of you. This is one of the other ones that made the top 5 most important. The legs out in front of you. Paschimottanasana translates to the whole west side of the body stretching from the Achilles tendon all the way to the cervical spine. So we're going to reach the arms up towards the ceiling, and if your hips and shoulders are aligned, then this is great. If you're having trouble sitting tall and you're sinking back, then just take your hands back behind you and lift up the chest. This is your pose. Otherwise, if you can maintain long spine, start to reach long across your legs, take the hands down wherever they go, and relax forward over those legs. And here I would like you to have a little bit of firmness to your feet, your muscles in your Quadriceps should be a little bit engaged. So remember, if this is difficult, just keep your hands back behind you for support so that your sit bones are right underneath your shoulders. You always want to move from a long spine. But you can really feel the benefit of this pose. You can feel it stretching the whole back body. So, so good. Let's take one more breath here. And then very gently coming back up to a seat, and then we'll slide the soles of the feet together. But I'd like you to do a little wider Baddha Konasana. So instead of pulling your feet really close to your body, allow them to be more like a diamond shape. So your feet are a little further out in front of you, just a little more space. And then hold on to whatever part of the leg you can get to, and then reach up out of the waist on the inhale, lift the chest, and start to fold forward. Maybe your toe and your nose can meet. Or at least you're moving in that direction. Very nice, you guys. Then come on up. And then we'll remove the blanket if you're using it, and we're going to come all the way down onto your back. So scooch forward a little bit so you have room to come down. And then we're going to take bridge flow, which is really nice to develop a little more articulation through each and every vertebra in our spine. So we're going to take our time here and breathe with the movement. Relax the arms alongside the body. Press into the soles of the feet. And then start to isolate the low back by pressing the small of your back down. You'll feel no space, no room for air to get into the low back area. So you have a nice glued low back. And then continue to peel your hips up, rolling through each vertebra, all the way up as high as you can. Lift the hips, lift your chin slightly so you don't strain your neck. And then place one vertebra down at a time, top to bottom. And so the idea here, go ahead and keep going on your own, just rotating, undulating through each vertebra, lifting up and lowering down. And the idea here is to get connected to each part of our spine. I find for me personally, there's an area that I really struggle with connecting. Right about the mid-back area. And you know, that's where I have the most of my problems. Right in that mid-back. So this is really good work to just create more mobility. So circulation, so prana, blood flow, oxygen, nutrients can get into every nook and cranny. Let's do this one more time. Like a massage for your entire back. And then we're going to come up to bridge and hold it for about 5 breaths. So lift your hips, walk your shoulder blades just a little closer together underneath you so you're nice and wide across the chest. You might want to interlace the hands if that's available. If not, that's okay. But press down into the arms and lift everything else up. Three more breaths. And as you're ready, you can release the hands and lower down one vertebra at a time. And then let's hug the knees into your chest. Ah, so good. Rock a little side to side. We could take happy baby here, so flex the feet towards the ceiling. Reach for whatever part of the leg that you can. Maybe it's the calves, maybe it's the ankles, maybe it's the feet. But again, the priority is keeping your spine as flat as you can on your mat. Chin in slightly, so the back of the neck extends. All the way down to the coccyx. From cervical to coccyx, you want to get a little flatter. If you're not doing happy baby because it just is not feeling right for you, you can just hold on to the knees and pull the knees towards the armpits, the shoulder area. This is really about improving the length of our spine. Okay, it's not about reaching your feet. Very good. Let's bring the knees back into the chest. And then let's take a twist. So take your knees and drop them to the right. And reach that left arm long. So you can feel this right along that kidney band, that low back region. This is really, really good. Release the tension from the mind as well when we twist. Take your time. Come back through center and then drop your knees to the other side. And try to keep the right shoulder down on your mat if you can. And just allow the posture to do its magic. You know, surrender, relax. Remember, your success is measured by how much you can relax. I really like that, you know, and even if you look at it as it pertains to life situations, if you're in a stressful situation, the more you tense up, the harder things are, right? It's not easier to deal with it. So the more you relax, the better. I know it's easier said than done, but that's the practice. Very good, and then we'll come back through center. So I don't think a lot of you have, or some of you don't have blocks, but if you have even a firm pillow, or you can take that blanket that you have, you can slide it underneath your hips. So you have a nice supported back bend here. I'm going to use my 2 blocks and put it right at the sacral area, that flat bony structure. And then you can take the legs out in front of you and just relax here, really getting into those connective tissues and the hip flexors, and giving our organs a nice stretch here as well. And keep using the breath as the anchor for your mind. Stay with it. Hang out there for as long as feels comfortable. If it doesn't feel comfortable to extend your legs out, you can always just bend up the knees. So, but stay with this supported back bend for just a few more moments. Practices like this really give us an opportunity to choose how we're going to show up for the rest of our day. Connects you on a deep level, being calmer and more grounded. And I really do firmly believe it from my own experience that everything that comes at you is like a practice, right? All these situations we get to practice responding. So if you had a shitty experience yesterday, you responded in a negative way and maybe lost your mind, then you know what, that's okay. You have another chance to try again, because sure enough, inevitably another situation will arise and you'll get another chance to practice responding in a little better way. Everything we see, everything we come encounter with, all relationships, they're all just opportunity for us to grow and evolve. That's why it's hard sometimes. I lost my mind the other day. I should let my husband tell you about that one. That was pretty funny. But I did learn from it. I did. I realized, wow, Cherie, what happened there?
And it wasn't on him.
I kind of lost my mind.
And it wasn't on him.
It was what?
And it wasn't on my husband.
Oh, no, it wasn't on my husband. No. It was a different situation. But he was there. He witnessed it. And he thought it was pretty funny. Okay, from here, let's take our legs up towards the ceiling. And let the blood just drain out of your legs. Let the blood rush into the pelvis, where we have a lot of important organs, into the heart, and into the brain. It's really important to practice inversions. And that doesn't mean you have to stand on your head or do handstands or all this crazy things like balancing on one eyelash. You don't have to do that. You can do this right here. This is a beautiful inversion. But it's very, very good for our brain and just increasing circulation to these important glands in the body. A lot of those glands live in the upper part of the chest area, armpit area. All right, you guys, then you can go ahead and take the feet down and then find your way into Shavasana. Take this most important pose here, most important. Can you believe that? It's the most important. Your body can't heal unless you give it an opportunity to rest and to absorb this information that you gave it. So don't be in a hurry to rush out. And if this is really hard for you, then you need it the most. I've noticed that with myself. Sometimes if I'm in a hurry and I don't have time for Shavasana, I realize that those are the days I really could have used it. Once you're comfortable in your Shavasana, sometimes that takes a minute, getting your blankets and all the things set up. I'd like to guide you through just a little brief breathing practice before I let you completely let go and relax. And this is retention breathing. It's also called 1 to 2 breath. So if you're inhaling for 4 counts, if that's where your comfort level is, then you're practicing exhaling for 8 counts. And you hold the breath in at the top and out at the bottom for just a couple of seconds. So go ahead and start that on your own. You can inhale through 4, or maybe it's 5 counts, and hold the breath in at the top just until you're comfortable. Start to get uncomfortable, and then exhale, doubling your inhale. Hold the breath out at the bottom until you're starting to get uncomfortable, and then repeat. So this is helping to strengthen your lungs. When you hold the breath in, you're nourishing your entire body with that fresh oxygen. Good. Just do a couple more rounds on your own. This is really, really good, really important breath practice here. And let's do this one more round. And then when you're complete, just let everything go. Just relax completely. Scanning your body, checking in to see where you can be just even 10% more relaxed. Might be your hips, might be your shoulders. Oftentimes it's the belly or the neck. Two minutes of complete relaxation here. You guys, and then you'll just gently start to come back into your breath and into your body. We'll place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. We're going to end just like we began. I hope that you enjoyed this practice of nourishing and recharging, so that whatever comes your way today, you'll be able to handle it with more grace, more compassion, more love. And you can come into a seat as you're ready. You can also stay in Shavasana a little longer. But we're going to officially end this practice. If you're with me in a seated position, you can take your hands to the heart with gratitude. It's always good to bookend your practices with gratitude, constantly counting your blessings, appreciating what you have in your life. And sending love and a really great weekend to you all. And thanks for joining me today. Namaste.